Okay, namaste, yogis. So I thought I'd just do a short overview of fire practice and what that speaks to, and what are our primary methods and intentions within this practice. Um, at the very heart of Sri Vidya Tantra, which is what we practice and what we teach here, there is a prayer to the Divine Mother. It's from the Rig Veda. It's called the Shri Suktam. The prayer to the sacred, but the sacred in the form of the Divine Mother. And the first line of that suktam or that prayer is as follows: Om Hiranyavarnam Haranim Suvarna Rajatasrajam Chandram Hiranmayim Lakshmim Jatavedaho Ma Avaha. So right there, that second last name of Devi, Jataveda, it means the one who is born from the flames, or the one who is born from the fire. And it speaks to this idea that every single person, every single human being is born with this infinitely powerful and ceaseless drive to excel and to be extraordinary in their own unique way. And this spark is the essence of our soul. What Tantra also says is that this spark, this light, this power, this Shri-ness, it's never diminished. It's always there. It's never not there. But sometimes life and experience and conditioning creates a kind of cloud or blanket over our innate Shri-ness, our innate sacredness, and stops that sacredness from shining through into all of the things that we do in our life. And so fire practice, which is also called Shakti Sadhana, or the practices that give rise to the power of the soul, it's about creating an internal light source and heat source that dissolves these limitations, that keeps our perception stuck and bound. So this idea of awakening Kundalini is not really a fair portrayal of the truth, because Kundalini is already awake. Kundalini is the essence of awakeness. That is the Shri-ness that is always there. So what we are doing with fire practice is basically learning to brighten our own light so that our Shri-ness or Kundalini or the sacredness within us comes into the field of our perception. And so in order to do that, there are very, very clear methods. So not everything that we do in practice is oriented towards the fire or awakening our own awareness of our own innate awakeness, if that makes sense. So down through the ages, through the grace of the masters and the lineage teachings, we have a method. And so essentially, the method in fire practice is as follows. The first thing that we need to do is make sure that we have a very, very stable mind. Without a stable mind, very, very little can be achieved either in practice or in life. So that's the first thing. With the help of a stable mind, we can then start to connect with our energy and learn to contain it or concentrate it in certain points. This is the practice of prana dharana, and it is really the essence of all prana-based practices, our ability to shape and move prana. So in fire practice, where are we moving prana and why? So the first place that we're moving prana is into the navel center, where there is this pre-existing digestive fire called Jatara Agni. So with the help of a stable mind, clear intention, and a deep connection to prana, we move pran-vayu, which is the essence of the in-breath, down into the flames. And with the help of the root lock, we move apana-vayu up on the exhalation, also up into those pre-existing flames of the digestive fire. Now, this collision of polar forces creates the spark that accelerates or expands that fire into something more potent and more subtle, something that can reach into the deepest, darkest corners of our minds. And that expanded fire, born of the fusion of pran and apana in the navel, is called Bhuta Agni, or the fire that consumes the ghosts of the past. In other words, karma. So we cultivate fire here to weaken the influence and the limitations of the lower three chakras. Now, once that space has become clear, now we do the work of balancing left and right, and we start doing that with asana, obviously doing the left and right sides, and then we move to some kind of alternate nostril breathing situation to balance the hemispheres of the brain, to balance the solar and lunar channels within the subtle body, the pranic body, so that everything eventually moves towards center. And then from there, we move into a meditation on Sushumna and start moving prana up and down the spine. And now that we have this space here free of density, free of darkness, free of fear and anxiety and self-doubt and all of that heavy stuff that envelops the lower three chakras, now that that is clear, we can easily or more easily move prana with consciousness infused into it up and down the spine. Eventually, in Sri Vidya Tantra, bringing it to rest in the heart, which is where we meditate with our mantra, as this is the location of non-dual awareness within the body. We have another one up here, but it's harder to get to. We can also access a non-dual state of awareness through the heart chakra, but first we have to enter Sushumna, move prana up beyond the lower three chakras. To do that, first we need to cultivate fire to weaken those limitations. In order to cultivate fire, we need to be able to concentrate prana and work with our pranic force. And in order to do that, we need a very, very calm, stable mind. So those are really the four main things that we work with in fire practice: stable mind, collecting prana, building Rudrani or fire, the activated force of Rudra or Shiva, and then entering Sushumna. And all of that culminates usually, unless we have another specific reason for doing so, we end up meditating in the heart, which is where we find that glimpse, that remembrance of our own innate Shri-ness. Our own sacredness comes into the field of our perception here in the space of the heart. And that's essentially the intention and the methodologies that go along with fire practice. So hopefully that was helpful, and we'll see you soon back on the mat. Namaste.